A lot of interesting and unusual things happen around us every day, but often, being in the hustle and bustle, we completely do not notice it. Therefore, we've prepared for you an exciting video where we have collected the most impressive, inexplicable, and interesting events. If you're ready to watch a selection that will definitely not leave you indifferent, then please subscribe to our channel, like this video, and start watching it immediately. This is an incredibly impressive air show, the finale of which significantly tickled the nerves of all viewers. This is an ingenious but at the same time simple solution. Now those who will drive along this highway at night will not be able to fall asleep even if they really want to. This is not an alien, even though I agree it looks very much like someone not from our planet. This luminous octopus, by the way, is not a rare inhabitant of the depths. That's how it happens. You walk through the desert as a poor man, but once you stumble upon an oil field and immediately become incredibly rich. That's what it means when money falls on you from the sky, although here it's more like a spring from the ground. Now they've convinced me that music is also an art. Just look at what beautiful patterns one can create with the help of sounds. An aquarium is not an endless expanse of the sea, so dolphins have to invent entertainment for themselves. Being on an escalator that takes you underwater through a safety glass is an incredible adventure where every moment is filled with the wonders of marine life. Deep-sea divers became the real lucky ones when they came face to face with a huge fish of unusual appearance. It was cool, wouldn't you agree? A lot of incredibly beautiful creatures live in the sea, which do not often pamper people with their presence, but when they decide to show up, then it is simply impossible to take your eyes off them. What can we say about large whales and other aquatic life whose size is not just impressive, but shocking? You can find a lot of things on the seashore in the morning after a night's surf. I would have kept such an unusual specimen for myself by all means. Our nature is a real craftswoman who tries to breathe life literally into even the most unusual things. An object floating in the air is undoubtedly an eerie sight, even more so when there's not a single logical explanation for what's happening.
Right in the middle of the air. It's not attached to wire.
I've always wondered why people go to the cemetery at night. Do they want to try their luck, or what?
Yeah.
This incredible trick is actually a simple LED strip combined with augmented reality technology. What a cool effect they create together. It seems that fiction is becoming a reality. This bee without a head not only exists, but is also able to continue its life. This is a unique phenomenon that challenges our understanding of insect biology, showing how nature often breaks all laws. I have to say that words are useless here. It is enough just to carefully observe what is happening, and that's all. Do you still think that fire and water are two completely incompatible things? I want to disappoint you and give you a clear example of how they perfectly match each other under certain circumstances. Don't even ask me how it happened in the first place. The tree has literally become a victim of the situation, and it simply has no chance to escape from these shackles. One can find a lot of things on the seashore in the morning after a night storm. At first glance, you will immediately understand what it is all about. This is very rare yet incredible footage of what is happening behind the atmosphere. What an amazing creature. I dare say that we are seeing it for the first time. We have no idea how diverse the fauna of our planet really is, and how many other creatures unknown to us might live right next to us. To be honest, I'm speechless after witnessing it. What about you? Well, who will say that our nature is not a living being? You see it too, don't you? It's breathing. I hope this is not a strong vortex starting to form and there are no magical forces involved here. Here's another good example. I'm sure that the baby caterpillar was just born in the wrong body. A real sea monster was once discovered by random vacationers off the coast of Florida. Of course, there was no limit to their surprise. Double-headed snakes are a real anomaly in the animal world, but you must admit, this mistake of nature looks much nicer than all of its basically looking relatives. Sometimes just one touch is enough for the real magic to begin. In general, it's better to just know the laws of physics. No wonder they say that animals sense something paranormal, and these dogs are no exception. The poor creatures are at a loss and do not want to go one step closer to that place. What or who appears in the frame is unclear. One thing is obvious, the creature is clearly in a rage, and it's hard to find a reasonable explanation for it. Here is another strange flying black sphere floating through the air between the trees, which also makes one think about its origin. The reservoir is overgrown with a stunningly beautiful ice crust, which crumbles into incredibly beautiful structures at any touch. It's magical! This outdoor surveillance camera captured something absolutely unnatural. Could it have been a ghost? But then, why is it black and has such clear shapes? What we were amazed at in films about a possible future 10 years ago is already becoming our reality today. I don't even know whether to rejoice or be afraid here. What do you think? With the help of sounds and vibrations, even water can be made to dance. With this kind of technology, this man can create a superhero headquarters for himself. The huge accumulation of two-wheeled vehicles on one small street caused a real surprise. Curiosity was growing by the minute. What happens when the traffic light turns green and all the motorcycles try to continue on their way? I don't know why, but the fish chose their own route. As we can see, they strictly follow it. There are cases when you don't even need to comment on anything much, just enjoy this incredible beauty on your screens. Such a beautiful glow has formed that it is simply impossible to take your eyes off it. Even though the video was recorded in accelerated mode, I still can't help wondering what happened to the animals and birds all of a sudden. Are they part of something we don't know about? Next time, touch an ordinary-looking tree branch, be extremely careful. After all, it can suddenly come to life. This particular goat of the Shami breed is significantly different from its fellows. It doesn't look very attractive, to put it mildly. It seems that the birds have started a massive swim in order to find a delicious treat. Well, it's never too late to change your qualifications from flying to swimming. It must be cool to feel like a real conductor of your personal fish orchestra.
To be honest, I'm speechless after witnessing it. What about you?
The black and white cat seemed to freeze in time for a while. Who knows? Probably the source of the water has some magical property.
What the fuck? Yo, you good?
If you thought you were dreaming, then no. On the snow-covered peak, there was something, or someone, completely untrustworthy.
No, seriously, pull over, pull over.
Such a dark figure is suddenly trapped in the middle of this whirlpool, which looks like a portal to another dimension. It's really weird.
Yeah, bras! Yeah, bras! Ayini, bras!
What a great way to spend your free time. I'm sure that now each of you would like to relax there in the warm waters with a fascinating book in your hands. Isn't that right? If you meet these guys somewhere in the ocean, you can wave to them, but still, it's better to swim past and not touch them with your bare hands. Don't be surprised, but mysteries and riddles really surround us everywhere. The main thing is to learn to notice them and to solve them if you have some time. There is nothing more interesting than watching a needle ice melt in a frozen pond. To tell the truth, our nature knows how to surprise us to the depths of our souls. In my opinion, someone decided to deal with a cunning snake, but the details of their unequal duel remain behind the scenes. In this video, the tree is turned into an unexpected fountain from which water gushes in a powerful stream, causing surprise and admiration. Instantly, thoughts of natural magic or a hidden source come to mind. Coral polyps wave their tentacles so wildly that from the outside they look more like some kind of sea monster about which you and I know nothing.
And we're moving on at the speed of light. All the most interesting things are still ahead.
If a system is running smoothly, sometimes the best solution is to leave everything as it is and just enjoy the stability. It looks like the fish has gone crazy, but on some level this is very good because the catch promises to be very impressive. We're used to the fact that reservoirs are located in wide open spaces, but what about the lake inside the tree? Have you ever seen something like this? It would seem that we are just looking at simple laws of physics in action, but it all looks as if you and I have witnessed a real miracle or magic. It's a very impressive sight, but I wouldn't want to be in the pilot's seat at such a delightful but still very dangerous moment. According to ancient legends, there is a source of eternal flame somewhere on Earth. I won't say for sure, but it looks like this guy has finally found this mysterious place. It's so beautiful that words are not really needed here. I just wanted to watch and enjoy an incredibly beautiful play of light. Shadow games can be very mysterious. Just try to tell me that everything is fine in this video and nothing special is happening. This black floating spot is very annoying for me. There's nothing unusual, friends. It's just a swarm of birds somewhere in the Namibian desert enjoying their time by the water. Driving a car along a night highway, the driver managed to take off the ghost of a woman on the DVR, who, according to some stories, died at this place several years ago. Well, anything's possible. It seems to be a crow, but it doesn't seem to be. It's hard to say exactly what happened to the bird, but it doesn't look too good, to put it mildly. I really don't think you would be happy to meet such a greedy monster on your walk. Isn't that right? Someone will experience terrible fear and panic at the sight of just one such snake. In this case, a whole bunch fell down from above, like out of the blue. This is every fisherman's dream. Well, even the most inexperienced of them could have gone home with a great catch that evening. It is very important to be able to express yourself and your creativity. It doesn't matter at all who you really are, a human being or a simple pigeon. Is it mysticism? Is it a conspiracy? Can it just be an unusual combination of circumstances? I don't know what to base my own theories on here. However, at first glance, it looks like we're being closely watched from above. No one would have ever believed in the mysticism that was happening if not for the recording from the video camera. It's good when there's clear evidence. Interaction with singing bowls has always delighted those who work with them for the first time. Now I understand exactly why. In old abandoned buildings, it's often possible to notice someone's shadows, dark figures, and ghostly images, so it's better not to go there unless you really need to. A bunch of fish froze in their places as if under strong hypnosis.
What's going on? Why are they standing still?
Are fish real?
What is going on?
Ooh, what the hell?
Even birds have talent. They are able to line up in pictures during the flight. Despite all the diligence of ornithologists, our planet continues to amaze us with unexplored bird species. Here in the video is a rare representative of birds that has remained out of the field of view for scientists. I can't stop wondering about the minds of snakes. Watching them use such an original method to climb a tree is really something new and unusual for the world of wildlife. It seems that someone's really hungry. If they stop feeding the hordes of hungry fish now, they will surely reach the land to get their portion. It looks really impressive. The dark spot on the wall seems mysterious until you start touching it. Then the truth is revealed. In front of you is nothing more than a huge cluster of spiders ready to defend their kingdom.
Before watching similar videos, it would be great to buy some sedative pills. One needs nerves of steel here.
Any words here would just be superfluous. Just watch what is happening and you will feel the whole range of vivid emotions and impressions. The crystal purity of the reservoir creates the illusion of weightlessness for fish swimming under its surface. As if being in a magical space, they hover in the water, adding a special charm to the place. The passengers of the plane were lucky enough to watch a stunningly beautiful sight from the window, which will definitely not leave anyone indifferent, isn't it? Ignoring all the laws of physics and gravity, the stone decided to go into free swimming while not being attached to anything around it.
Oh, spiderweb. Whoa. That's a strong spiderweb.
It's like we've landed on a new planet inhabited by such unpleasant inhabitants. There are still so many of them everywhere that you can't avoid them. Having seen such a miracle, one would think that we have some kind of unusual toy in front of us, but no, it's a real fish. It's just a little humanized. Here is another representative of the underwater world, whose appearance painfully reminds us all of the familiar appearance of people. Take a look at how a material heated to high temperatures behaves. Don't forget to enjoy the spectacle, friends. I can't even imagine how they fit together under the same shell, but turtles certainly shouldn't be bored because there is always someone to talk to. Watching millions of flamingos from a bird's eye view is incredibly interesting. It's like looking at a huge number of pink balloons. It's cool to watch how a small ice structure breaks down into hundreds of beautifully carved details per second. Nature definitely knows how to create unique creations. Don't even try to guess what happened to this celestial object. One thing's for sure, it'll never be the same as before. Whoever was sitting on the other side of the screen was probably just stunned when he saw how an obviously human figure suddenly disappeared right in the middle of the street. I don't even want to imagine how a person feels when various inexplicable things start happening in their house. For example, when furniture begins to literally come to life.
I don't think it's just down here. Look at that. This is the most active during the day that
There's nothing strange, friends. It's just a bike floating in the air for no obvious reason. Is it too much? Did you also see a figure in the clouds? I wonder what it could be. Now, just try to say that you still don't believe in various alien objects. Here, everything is more than obvious. The fire show turned out to be notable. I can't argue here. However, the situation could change quickly, and the fire could scale to an incredible size. This is the case when meteorologists cannot clearly determine the weather forecast, and now you do not know at all whether to take an umbrella outside with you. A visit to the Salt Lake in Egypt promises not only the enjoyment of crystal clear water, but also a rich range of feelings and impressions that will stay with you for many years to come. The water, sparkling with bioluminescence, gave the girl incredible emotions when she sailed through it on a boat, rowing with oars. To say that it was magical is probably an understatement. What an incredible view. I never tire of being amazed at how beautiful and saturated nature can be. Iceland is a land of ice. There it takes on a variety of shapes, and the sun's rays create delightful pictures of light. The patterns that frost leaves on the windows are amazing, but what you can see in the frozen clear water is not just incredible, it's amazing. To catch such a sea giant is a real achievement for fishermen, but here's a question that hangs in the air. How are they going to move it home? Mass migration of birds is quite a normal and familiar phenomenon. but when the birds are rushing at such a furious speed, it seems that they are very much late for somewhere. I want to say right away that if you are afraid of all such living, creeping creatures, then you definitely need to choose a completely different place to relax. There's nothing for you to do here, for sure. If it already seems unusual to see one tree burning inside after a lightning strike, then imagine what it's like to be in a forest where every second tree has become a victim of harsh natural forces. I have goosebumps. An old plane that sank long ago in the depths of the ocean has turned into the most coveted mecca for diving enthusiasts. Diving and exploring its ruined wreckage is the dream of all fans of underwater adventures. I don't even know what to tell you intelligibly right now. Perhaps you'd better try to figure it out for yourself what kind of mysterious beast or bird is shown on the screens. Apparently, the spider has some secret superpowers and uses them quite actively in critical situations. Otherwise, I don't even know how to explain what you and I can observe now. This unusual car, in addition to caring about the cleanliness of city streets, also involuntarily pleased all passers-by with a wonderful rainbow. No, these are not frames from a fantastic movie. Here is the unusual island of Lanzarote, also known as the Island of the Fire-Breathing Mountains. Volcanoes have done a lot of work on its landscape, and now vineyards are being grown there. Maybe what's happening can be explained from a scientific point of view, but I'm betting on an unprecedented sea monster underwater. What are your guesses? This looks like a picture brought to life from Pinterest, but this is our reality, and it's beautiful. This is a tree in the backyard of someone's house which has turned into a real green monster, which shows with all its behavior that it is not in the mood today. The feathered creature got into a very unpleasant situation. Fortunately, the help came from where it was not expected. With such a washing technology, the car will definitely not need any polishing. It allows to save time. Do you agree that the operation of a cool magnetic polishing machine is simply fascinating? I want to look at the details without taking my eyes off them. The veil of the web has spread to such a vast territory that now people will not set foot there for a long time. Above the boundless expanses of water, very unusual circles suddenly appeared in the sky, more like huge flying UFOs. Even though the video is accelerated, there is a strong impression that birds and animals are in the process of some kind of mystic ritual. If you hear a rumble but don't see anything in the sky, know that in a moment you will see an incredible giant above you, which is safely hidden in a thick haze. Above the mountain peaks, random eyewitnesses managed to capture 3 glowing and rapidly moving balls. They definitely don't bode well for us. I won't even say anything much, it's just an unpleasant find, period. A whole horde of blackbirds, mainly rushing from side to side, and even against the background of such an intimidating backlight, scares and terrifies. It looks like a scene from horror movies. The tree hung in the air as if someone was holding it from above with powerful hands. But we are adults and we must understand that this is simply impossible. The Eye of the Devil in the Gobi Desert is located in the northwestern Chinese province of Qinghai. After watching it on even video footage, you will definitely never forget because it is fantastically beautiful. You may be surprised at the strange footprints in the snow. Such tunnels are quite a common practice for wolves living in Tibet. There's definitely something abnormal going on in the Texas night sky. Many eyewitnesses were sure that alien creatures were watching them at that moment. This girl's hair lives its own life, and apparently it is not going to take into account her desires and plans at all. Did one of the plagues of Egypt take place in our century? People had to do something really terrible to enrage the heavenly powers. If there were gates to hell on our Earth, they would look exactly like this. Surprisingly, this is a fish with a dragon face. It seems to me that among its ancestors, there are real winged monsters. The face of this monkey is very similar to the face of one of these monsters that live deep underground. I would be very scared if I caught it looking at me. Apparently, those who believe in ghosts are right. Did these guys witness the flight of an unidentified flying object in the night sky? Who knows? When a family in India discovered a snake of unprecedented size on the territory of their home, their fear and panic simply knew no bounds. It's not surprising. This is the case when you prefer a bigger size and also want to show it to everyone around you. It turned out to be a real fire show from Mother Nature. It's a pity that its price is too high. An incredibly beautiful phenomenon could be observed by vacationers on the coast of Florida. What can I say? These people were not really lucky. At first glance, it may seem that the water flow has simply been frozen, but notice how violently it lands on the ground. Some of us have a rich imagination. They often see certain images and figures in the sky. However, in this case, everyone will be able to see the outlines of an ancient fortress hidden in a cloud shroud. It's amazing how this multi-legged creature is able to squeeze through any opening, sometimes even much smaller in size. The earth cracked literally in front of vacationing tourists. Fortunately, everyone noticed the problem in time, and as a result, no one was injured. If you live somewhere in the Nordic countries, be prepared for the fact that rainwater will instantly freeze on the windows of your cars and houses. When the clouds parted, a strange, mysterious figure appeared, taking on a human form. Who does it remind you of? Would you say that we are now observing a common phenomenon in the sky? It's possible. However, I still don't understand why it is moving at such a speed, leaving behind a bright trail of light. An insect sitting peacefully on a tree looks like it came from a painting by some artist. Or does our imagination draw its face? What do you think? Yes, friends, what not to see on the roads near the Zone 51 military base in Texas? There are many questions. You may know something about the most unusual trees in the world, but have you seen parasitic tattoos on their bark? Nature creates amazing things. Sometimes it is simply impossible to look away from them. Do you agree that it looks impressive? The crab simply had no chance of escaping from the very moment when the black liquid-like creature caught it. The guys just can't hide the smile on their faces because they absolutely clearly understand that they will definitely not return home today without a catch. So the day was not in vain. In one Chinese village, there is a completely unusual funnel in the ground, which thousands of tourists strive to see every year. You might think that nothing so special is happening in the video, but one has only to look a little closer. A strange flying object will be in the center of your attention, which obsessively strives to get into the frame. You can see a lot of things among the storm clouds, even a portal for teleportation at your fingertips. Sometimes it can be even more difficult. You go out for a walk in the city center, raise your head, see such a flying luminous object, and you have enough emotions for more than one day. In the midst of the race, fans noticed unexplained burning spots in the sky. It was as if someone from heaven was watching what was happening through them.
It was so cool! It's hard to comprehend how this is even possible.
It seems that something went wrong here. He should have been fighting evil, not joining it. Looking at what our feathered friends are doing, only one single thought comes to mind. I can think only of the future apocalypse. All people who love motorcycles, as well as all other people, you should definitely watch this video, as you will definitely appreciate it. Do you know that sweet corn can not only taste great, but also look incredibly beautiful? You must agree that you want to consider such things without turning your eyes away. A huge flock of fish staged a real performance for the deep-sea diver, putting him as the central figure of their show. I am sure that such emotions will remain in his memory forever.
If you haven't liked this episode yet, now is the best time to do it.
This baby fish seems to have forgotten to put on its outfit, and now it is forced to live in an invisible costume that makes it almost completely transparent. Nature definitely knows how to surprise. Apparently, the storks decided to change the traditional ideas about nesting, choosing the most unexpected place for this. It is a pleasure to watch such an innovation, even though it is a little strange. Nature undoubtedly knows how to surprise like no other. Now, take a look at how masterfully it creates ice casts of leaves, turning them into crystal sculptures. Such a winter artist does not spare the material. As you can see, one cannot drift only in a car. Small planes are quite capable of it as well. Explosions can not only be destructive and dangerous, but also very beautiful. It's amazing, isn't it? Glaciers are melting. Such a sight is naturally impressive, but at the same time it shows that serious danger is already coming. Witnesses of what is happening in Texas began to build their conspiracy theories about UFOs after what they saw. It's all the fault of the strange shape of the clouds in the sky. Many people are already afraid of spiders. Now they have to be scared of an arthropod that has a rather unpleasant appearance, and in the truest sense of the word. It seems that nature has decided to work like an artist and give bright colors to one of its creations. It seems that some kind of mud monster wants to break out of the ground to us. If you're worried about where to get high-quality bait for the upcoming fishing, then do not bother. As you can see, only a personal presence at this event is enough. The transparent creature in a barrel apparently served as a source of inspiration for the Alien movie. I don't see any other options. The fish seemed to have gone crazy and washed up on the shore. However, these vacationers were extremely happy. While some are just watching an unusual sight, others are even trying to catch a few pieces for dinner with their bare hands. I want to say something important. Always try to raise your head up more often and look at the sky. Sometimes you can see a lot of amazing things there. The plane stopped right in flight while hovering in the air for a while. It definitely has something mysterious and inexplicable. Sometimes one throw can lead to unexpected results. How cool it is that they thought of capturing all this on camera. The night sky became a very good platform for several mysterious objects that made people think carefully about what kind of journey they were on. When you see such an invasion of birds, you involuntarily want to panic and immediately hide somewhere safe with a roof over your head. You have to do it really quickly.
Just a few crows.
It turns out that you don't need to be a light feather to be carried away by the wind. Do you think that you would be able to withstand such a strong wind? Who said that winter is a time to be bored? In fact, this period of the year can be as intense and emotional as summer, but only if you know where to look for adventures. There is an incredible beauty hidden under the surface of the water, which we often do not suspect. Sometimes, going under the water, you can see an amazing underwater world full of life and mystery. If all the water spilled on the floor instantly turned to gel, then cleaning it would become much easier. Cloudy weather can be very soothing, can't it? It's a magical sight, don't you agree? In fact, this happens when lightning strikes a tree. It lights up from the inside. The phenomenon in the sky has long been perceived as signs that foreshadow some significant events, either good or bad. A luminous wave that ran through the night sky of San Francisco surprised the eyewitnesses of what was happening. People froze in amazement. They needed to understand the reason for it. The girl's night adventure almost ended with a heart attack when she decided to touch the one that was not worth touching. Meeting such a slippery, bouncing creature proved to be a real test for her nerves. The Florida night sky was struck with its mystery when an unusual cloud of a strange shape suddenly appeared. The sight immediately raised two questions. Where did it come from, and what does it represent? Someone is incredibly lucky to see with their own eyes such a wonderful natural phenomenon, which they can admire for a long time. A whole horde of green, incredibly cute birds gathered right on the street near someone's house. Well, how can you not admire them? What is this all about? Such a strange funnel formed right in the middle of the road, absorbing all the water around. I also wonder how deep it is. When nature is in a good mood, it is not lazy to create something unique, perfect, and extraordinary. Here is another proof. Ice sculptures are sometimes created not only by the hands of experienced craftsmen. Someone from the other world seems to have decided to catch up and do some sports. There is no other way.
Ay, no se mamó, mira, mira. ¿Cómo se empezó a mecer solo? Se ven. No manches.
Just a few seconds and these sands will swallow up everything that you just offered them. The main thing is to stay away. Even in sunny weather, there is no absolute certainty that you will not return home 100% wet. These road signs have a life of their own. If you look closely, you can see a strange, misty silhouette very much resembling a human being above the dense clouds. Have you noticed it? In any company, there is someone who does not look like a friend at all. This unusual fish specimen is no exception. What's happening? Here, the cloudy figure does not just appear before us, it seems to be asking people to pay attention to it with all its movements. Please don't interfere. Let the cat enjoy the process of developing lungs. Take a look. Even ghosts from the other world are trying to play sports, and you're waiting for the next week. The incredible phenomenon was captured by some eyewitnesses on camera. It was as if the space jellyfish decided to quickly descend to Earth, leaving behind only a glowing trace. Incredible lightning bolts that seem to cut through the stormy sky like a solid thread. It's impressive and scary at the same time. When watching these shots, horror creeps into the heart and goosebumps run over the skin. This is the power of nature in all its might. For those who tremble at the very thought of snakes, meeting such giants can become a real test. This is not the most pleasant sight. It seems that the snake has decided to set its own rules of movement. It doesn't really care about the opinion of all other people. Only in New Zealand can you meet unique representatives of flora and fauna which literally do not exist anywhere else in the world. They can even shock you. Don't be surprised, but anyone can get into a similar situation. When you go out on the playing field with a ball to run, you have to run home and change your shoes. What a risky person. I would hardly dare to wander so impressively on such an unstable surface under my feet. These small fish gathered together form an exciting sight resembling a living mosaic on the water surface. It's a pleasure to watch them. You could expect to see anything in the bathroom, but not so many colored balls, with which it is generally unclear what to do. This is something new. I would love to buy tickets for such a match. Since childhood, I dreamed of witnessing a dinosaur fight. Sponges living on the ocean floor have not yet been fully studied. What is known for sure about them is that they extract food and oxygen from the stream of water that passes through them. That's how they eat. Look at this frog. It is turned into a living balloon. With such a size, it could easily become the main star of any rating. Unexpectedly, winter frost can become a truly great sculptor. Even an ordinary car can turn into a beautiful ice sculpture. His unique skills can impress us and even shock us. This amazing flower is common in Indonesia, which is as famous for its beauty as for its unpleasant aroma. Its smell attracts a lot of insects, such as flies and others. To see a man hanging in the air, as real as you and me, is no less strange and frightening. To be honest, I'm shocked. When going hiking in dense thickets, remember that you can always meet creatures unknown to the world there, so keep your ears open. Now just look at how ordinary trees, as if magically, created a real winter fairy tale, attracting the gazes of people walking by. Hey you got yourself a wig. It's a good one, but you'd better take it off, trust me. An unusual rotating ice circle was discovered by passers-by on a frozen pond. The sight is fascinating and alarming at the same time. An incredible show was recently held in China, which paid tribute to mythical dragons, which the Chinese consider a symbol of power. It looked very impressive. It turned out to be a real fire show with the use of non-standard equipment, which will remain in the memory for a long time, both children and adults. Bravo! An unusual rotating ice circle was discovered by passers-by on a frozen pond. The sight is fascinating and alarming at the same time. Apparently, there are those among us who know how to hide from human eyes. It's a little creepy. Swamps are rather unpleasant areas, which definitely does not bode well. I'm even afraid to imagine what kind of monsters might live there. Our huge, beautiful planet still holds many secrets and riddles that have not been solved at the moment. But perhaps in the very near future, we will learn something new. The foam in this pond is not an amazing miracle, but a real ecological disaster. This happened because people thoughtlessly poured waste into the water, so there's nothing to be happy about. Everything strives for freedom, even water. The very moment in which experience and the ability to make non-standard decisions play the most important role.
Even though our episode is almost over, we would like to cheer you up and let you know that a new one will be released soon. Don't forget to click the bell so as to not miss it.